Where you? I'm gonna share it out to Andy's page.
I'll share it on the fan page.
Oh, hold on. Or no, go ahead. I just don't have the audio set up quite right. All right, so I got the volume. People should be able to hear us. I'm going to turn it up.
Hello.
It's always low. Anthony, you want to go to YouTube real quick and make sure we're sounding good? Audio-wise.
Audio
level.
Audio.
Test. Yes, we can hear it
Yes.
in our ears. That's good. I'm quiet. You're quiet.
Quiet on the set because I'm about to begin.
About the wreck.
And if you didn't hear me, boy, I'll tell you again.
Wreck's in effect. I don't understand why it's so quiet.
Because Robert's not here? Got him.
Got him. Got him. The thing is, when I turn it up on the mixer board, then it's loud in our ears. I need to figure if I got that.
I'm all right with it
mixed
loud
right.
in our ears.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine.
As long as it's, sounds better to the fans.
For the peeps. How's that sound?
For our peeps.
Now, Anthony. Anthony Bobantney. Make sure. All right. So
just better.
Now we are live. Hello, YouTube people. Well, we're live, but now we're
Say
good
that
to go.
again?
Now you can see us.
I'm a little quiet?
He's a little quiet.
All right, I'll talk a little louder.
Let's see. Maybe now?
Hello?
I may have turned the bass down because it's usually Robert.
Bass. How low can you go?
How low can you go? How low can you go? How we sounding now, folks? We sounding good?
Hello, peeps. DGAM peeps.
Thanks for joining us for episode 229. We're going to visit a little bit with Eric. And he's got about 9 or so photos.
9.
From he took while he was in New York. Specifically where in New York?
Specifically Greenwood Park, which is in Lisle, New York, which is just north of Binghamton, New York.
So what kind of, for the YouTube people, how many we got?
1 million, it says.
1 million. Wow.
29 watching.
29. You need to get a little bit more than that. Come on, folks.
Come on. You share this out.
So, yes, make sure you share to your Facebook page and stuff like that. But here's a picture. This must be what you're talking about at Greenwood
Park. There it is.
Yep.
There was dinosaurs running around.
There was everywhere. Yeah.
It was crazy.
Was it hard designing around the dinosaurs?
No, it was pretty easy, actually.
Okay.
They're good. They're good people.
They're good peeps. So let's fix that a little bit there. Now it's a little better. So there. Okay, so for our audience, I'm going to bring up a picture, and you'll be able to see it in the monitor. You tell us a little bit about what's going on in the picture. Hold on, let me get this picture.
Our audience? You want our audience to tell us what's going on?
No, I want you to tell us what's going on in the picture.
Okay.
If this will cooperate with me. Yeah. Technology is fun.
The legendary E asks, "Hey Eric, why don't you get on Jomez or Central Coast that much?" If you're talking about in the actual videos, it's because I don't really play those events as much as I used to. At least I'm out traveling. I'm actually on a couple Central Coast ones from Santa Cruz and from GBO, but I really don't play a whole lot of tournaments like I used to.
So what are we looking at here, Eric?
Ooh, that's a pretty fairway right there. So this is it's kind of like it's actually a county park.
Okay.
But it reminds me of a state park where, you pull in and there's a kiosk and some outbuildings and some trails. There's a big lake for people to swim in. And then up at the very, very top of the mountain where you climb up the top of the hill, there were these beautiful trails that kind of look similar to the one you can see. And the ones up top were all grass-fed trails, so they're all grass,
okay,
which was really nice.
Yeah.
And they were looking at potentially not shutting those down, but letting the disc golfers use those as opposed to the rest of the trails. I think they have like 6 or 9 miles of trail going through the whole property. So, getting rid of just a small stretch of it's not that big of a deal to them. And gosh, it's just so gorgeous. Like, you can just look at that picture. I mean, you can see these tall pines, and it's just gorgeous.
What do we got here?
Ooh, there's the lake.
Mm-hmm.
That's I want to say 25-acre lake. So it sits on 25 acres, which is a lot of land. Or water.
Whatever you want to call
whatever you want to call that. I mean, is water wet?
I know. Is it?
Are fish wet? I've heard that argument. But so there is a couple holes where the water will come into play. Not crazy. There's going to be one hole that it tees off kind of down by the water in the woods. The woods line runs all along that left side. You can kind of see on that picture.
Okay.
So the longer tee is going to be down by the water's edge, and there will be a shot that goes through the woods that you can kind of throw like a little turnover or forehand shot through the woods, or you can go risk reward and throw the big right-handed hyzer out over the water, and it's going to be such a pretty hole. I'm excited for that one.
All right, let's see. We got this one next.
Ooh, that's us walking down. When we were doing some hiking, I had a couple of the Binghamton crew guys with me, and they were taking some videos and some pictures. I think we shared it out, or we're going to share it out on our Facebook page as well. You can look for that. But this is just kind of like another one of the kind of grass-fed fairways, they called them.
Okay.
Another potential spot for a hole. Granted, we need to take out quite a bit on the left and the right to make it fair. But those pines, look at those pine trees. Those it's probably one of my favorite tree to design around.
Yeah.
Those tall pines, because majority of the time, those all grow in a nice straight row. So it creates a nice tight tunnel shot.
Nice. What about this side? That's a pretty shot.
This is very pretty. And you can't really tell by the picture probably, but you're elevated. You're up pretty high on this shot. And this is actually going to be hole number 18.
Oh, wow.
This is going to be the long tee for 18. Up.
Now, so this is the tee pad shot? This is what I'm going to look at?
Yep, this is what you're looking at on the tee. And it's downhill, and it's going to play around 750 feet.
Okay.
Downhill. It'll be a nice long par 4. The basket's going to sit kind of up on, not a mound, but a little kind of a small hill where the basket's going to be placed. But errant shots are going to land up to the right in that big cedar tree, or if you hyzer out as a right-handed player, that lake will come into play on the left side.
Nice. Before we go to the next picture, is anybody asking any questions about the course design?
Let's see. Looks like Mosquito City. It's actually not too bad, Evan. That's what I thought too going out there. When I heard I was going to New York, I was really concerned with not just mosquitoes, but also ticks. Worried about having to run into some ticks and stuff like that out there. But I didn't see one tick the entire time I was there, and the bugs weren't really that bad at all. So yeah, I was pleasantly surprised about that.
Nice. Now this is a cool shot. I love those. What kind of trees are those?
Those are like birch trees?
Birch, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, I love the look of those trees.
Let me see when this picture comes up a little bit quicker here to get an idea of... Okay, yeah, this picture was taken, I want to say, toward the top of the... I need to wait for it to show up down here. so I can get a
so
better
you can see
look
it
at
closer?
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I can look at it a little bit closer. I'll see if there's any other questions coming through. Until then, and there it is. This picture, you know why this picture's so beautiful?
Because you took it? I don't know.
Do you know why, Bobby?
Why?
Because this is a picture from Sweden.
I was wondering.
I was wondering about that. I'm like, I don't remember there being that many birch trees on the hole.
No wonder you're like, I got to look at this a little closer.
Yeah, I was going to look at that closer. That's hole number 1 at Disc Golf Terminalen. That's hole 1. That's the basket. That's the last part of the fairway. So.
All right. So
sorry about that, guys.
So that is not. So if you're from that course, you're probably thinking, what is he? Where is he at designing a course? So this is, of course, Eric commanding the course, saying,
that way.
You will be a hole.
You will
a hole.
Be a hole.
A disc golf hole.
A disc golf hole. Yes. That is me pointing.
That is you pointing.
Giving direction to a tree.
And then, of course, you were prepared.
And then, of course, I was
with
prepared.
Our new dynamic discs
umbrella.
umbrella.
I was prepared because I looked at the forecast ahead of time, like every good traveling disc golfer should do, and saw there was rain in the forecast, and I'm glad I took one of our brand new umbrellas. I had no issues flying with it, so that's always good. It was a nice carry on, and it saved me. It was nice. I didn't get too wet because I was in the woods, but it was good to have. Those umbrellas, man, they are nice. If you have an opportunity to pick one up, do so, because they are.
Well, it's obvious from
awesome.
that picture that where you were at was very picturesque.
Yes, it was.
So that
it
was a cool
for sure.
picture you got there. Cool. All right. Well, guys, thanks for joining as Eric kind of recapped what he did as far as course design. I always think it's cool. If you want to see more of pictures that Eric does while he's traveling, make sure you follow. I'm assuming you posted most of these, if not all, on your Instagram,
Instagram, right? And my McCabe Champion Disc Golf Course Design Facebook page.
Okay.
So, and like I said, the video.
Yes,
that,
I think we posted it already.
I think if not, it'll be scheduled to post on DD's, or you can find it on mine as well.
Excellent. So Eric out there doing his course design stuff, and of course you are. Oh, we won't talk more stuff until we start recording.
Yes,
so we can get it on the podcast. So if you're just tuning in, we like to go live, kind of behind the scenes, sort of live. You can watch as we record the Disc Golf Answer Man podcast. We would appreciate it if you share it out. If you're like, wait, didn't you just do this on Monday? Well, because of traveling schedule, we went ahead and did an episode with Robert, and today we're doing one with Eric. And we figured we might as well do that since we missed you guys last week. So we're doing double duty this week.
Double dipping.
So hopefully you guys can appreciate that for sure. I'm going to grab the Google form so we can get some questions. And I do remember there was quite a few. If I remember correctly, there was quite a few course design questions.
Cool.
That I wanted to save for you. So let me pull those up. In fact, I think I can. Can I?
You can do anything, Bobby.
Oh, I can't do that.
But except that you can do anything.
I thought I could do that in the forms. I can't separate it by courses. I can do it in the spreadsheet. Let's go to the spreadsheet. See if it'll allow me to do it there. Anybody on the board watching live do anything big disc golf this past weekend?
Yeah, let's hear what you guys did for this past weekend, which was National Disc Golf Day.
Yes.
Did you play?
Did I play?
You did, right? You played in Bartlesville?
On Saturday.
Is that what I saw?
Yep, played at Sooner Park. No, that was the week before, the Saturday before.
Ah, okay.
I did not play on the actual disc golf day.
Was it fun?
You
didn't play on disc golf day?
No, I didn't.
Bobby.
We drove like 5 hours to get back home. And then
so
I was
you drove
out.
On disc golf day?
I drove. I did have a drive. Let's see. We'll go backwards.
I did.
Here.
I played 2 rounds.
2 rounds at?
I played 1 round at Emerson and 1 round at Clay West.
Wow.
So I got 2 rounds in that day.
All right, we'll get the first one set up, and then we'll go from there. Sound good?
Let's do.
I got to get everything ready to go.
Let's do.
All right, guys, we're going to start recording the podcast, so hang on, Nelly. Hey, everybody, welcome to this episode of the Disc Golf Answer Man. I am Bobby CoolDaddySlickBreeze, and I'm with me, Eric, New York, McCabe.
New York. How you doing?
Good, how are you?
It's good to be back.
Wait, you're in New York. Did you get a new tattoo?
I may have, but we'll talk about it later. Because we'll talk about it later. Not on this episode. We'll talk about it later.
Episode? Oh, man.
Yep.
Now I'm going to be curious. I almost got a tattoo. I didn't talk about this last episode. I almost got a tattoo while I was in Branson, Missouri.
Oh, really?
Almost, but I thought, I should really think this through and go talk to the tattoo artist and stuff like that. Kind of care for it a little bit more than just, going someplace
and
and
just going and doing it.
Yeah,
just don't do it just to do it. It's gotta mean something.
Right. So I definitely know it's going to be on my shoulder, lower shoulder, upper arm here.
Nice. Do you know what?
I'm really.
Can you talk about it?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's going to be like a tribal cross, because Christianity has been a big part of my life growing up, but it's not a big part of my life right now. So it's kind of reflects about my life as a whole and stuff. So anyway, that's getting a little too deep there. But anyway, so I almost got a tattoo. So anyway, you just got back from New York.
I did.
You're out there doing some course design work. Tell us a little bit more about where you went, who you did it for, and what stage they're at as far as the course design.
Cool. Yeah, I went to upstate New York, which we kind of talked about a little bit just a second ago.
Right.
I was in the Binghamton area, which is straight south of Syracuse, New York, by about an hour, a little over an hour.
Okay.
Where I was actually called Greenwood Park, Lyle, Texas, or something along those lines. Broome County is where it is. And the Binghamton Disc Golf community, the club, got the funds together to bring me out to design the course for 18 baskets. They actually made a deal with the county that the county covered half the baskets and the club would county the other half, or the club would pay for the other half. So that's kind of a great way to approach a city or a club or a county and say, hey, we want to put a course in. We've already raised this much money. You guys would just have to match this. And it was great. I spent a couple weeks down there walking the property and getting to know it. And, man, I'll tell you, that place is gorgeous, Bobby. It is phenomenal. Just the views. You know how when you go, maybe you don't know, Bobby, but when I go out and design a course, a lot of times some of the issues is space, having enough land to go out and make sure you can not just fit 18 holes in there, but 18 quality holes that flows well.
Yeah.
That was not an issue here.
Really?
Not even close. This place is a couple hundred acres, so fitting an 18-hole championship level course was no problem. We actually put in 2 tees on every single hole and 2 pin positions on every single hole as well that they will change out. They'll have 18 baskets, but a different pin on each hole and 2 concrete tees. So, you basically have 4 different options out there on the course. They are in the very, very, very beginning stages of the course. So they've still got to work on, cutting the gaps, and everything's marked that needs to be out, but they just kind of need to go through and trim the holes, get the fairways looking good, and then I will make another trip back out and walk the course before they put anchors in the ground and tees in the ground and all that to make sure everything's good to go. And I think that they're hoping to have that sometime in September, which is going to be pretty quick to get through that many holes that need cut. But I would say, to be safe, I think maybe a spring opening for like official ribbon cutting. The spring would be a pretty good guess.
Nice. Well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're excited over there. Now, give us an idea of what's the nearest course to that?
The nearest course to that area, there's a couple in Binghamton, BU at Binghamton University. There's a couple other ones, just smaller little 9-holers. But the biggest one that people probably are aware of or heard of is Ithaca.
Okay.
TC3 is what it's called. It's at the Ithaca College campus. Pat Govang installed it. And they're doing a little bit of renovation to the course right now as well. But it was I think it was New York State's was there one year, a few years back, and a bunch of us went. And I remember Fellberg had the nonstop tour there that year. Do you remember that? When it was like him and Will and Kale and Nico, I think. So a bunch of us were out there for that event. I think that was like 2012 or something like that. But that's probably the closest familiar course that people would know.
Awesome. Well, it sounds like you had a good time. Now you're done with that, and then you're getting ready to hop into another big thing, which is, of course, Pro Masters.
Yeah.
It's going to be out in Kansas City. I know that you're going to be practicing at least this weekend. Any practice out there this week?
Well, I practiced last night, actually. I flew in to
yeah.
Kansas City at like 2 o'clock or something like that, and Denise and I went straight over to Waterworks and got a round in out there, which was really good. I'd like to get another round in on Waterworks before the event. Saturday, Jonathan Ray, and I will be playing doubles, world doubles together. So that'll be a good time. And the only bummer about that is it's 2 rounds. So it's I really wish it was on a course that we were playing.
Not one
for the event. It's at Heritage, so it's not at one of the courses that either one of us play.
Oh.
Heritage may be used by another division, so that kind of makes sense. You can't really. I don't know that there is a course that everybody plays, so it'd be kind of hard to do that. But that'll be fun on Saturday, getting up there and playing that, and then probably get a couple more practice rounds in on the courses before the tournament starts on Tuesday.
Nice. At lunch today, I was talking to Terry Miller. Of course, the disc golf guy.
The disc golf guy.
Yeah, he's going to be there, and
nice.
He's going to do some media coverage. We were talking about how to kind of work together to bring some media coverage for the event.
Cool.
Because it is sponsored by Dynamic Discs. But kind of a on topic, but kind of there's really not a lot of people registered,
There's not. It's like, I don't want to use the word flop, but it's hard not to.
What do you think?
I don't know. Last year was just as bad, too, if I recall. The first year, the inaugural year of the Masters Worlds, the 40 and overs or 50 and overs, whatever it is, whatever it's actually called. The official name is what? The PDGA Masters Championships,
right.
World Championships. How many do we have? We have
140.
140 total players.
Which, I mean,
it sounds
that's more
good.
than I thought. At one time, I thought it was like barely 100.
Well, how many like MP40s are there?
MP4 55.
55. So that's a decent
That's
number,
a decent
but
size
it's
field.
It's pretty small in comparison. I mean, it's a World Championships.
Yeah.
You know, it's in the middle of the country, something that should be relatively easy for people to go to. It's run by an established club that is phenomenal, that really knows how to run tournaments, excellent courses. You can't say anything bad about the Kansas City courses except for their baskets. But that's, old school.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I don't know. I'm not sure why.
Of course, it's the second year of the breaking off into having the age-protected Worlds division, in a sense.
Yep.
I counted, I think, either 11 or 12,000 rated in the MP40, so that's going to be
not bad.
A challenging field while you're out there.
Yeah. Speaking of ratings,
what happened?
mine dropped like a bad habit.
Oh, whoa. Yeah, because you were 1,000.
I was 1016.
I was going to say 10.
And it's 1006 or something now.
Wow.
That's what happens when you don't play disc golf.
That's going to be a storyline in our little video we've been talking about.
I know, right? Like, oh, well, maybe we shouldn't do this.
It's going to have a lot of sad music in the video.
It is. I think it is. It's going to be a lot of me in a dark corner.
Yeah. Oh, gosh. Dressed in real ratty clothes and stuff
exactly,
like that.
exactly.
And Denise trying to talk to you. Get away, get away.
Go.
So anyway, about 11 to 12, I think, over 1,000 or more rated in the MP40, so that's going to be good. Now, in the MP50, I see 2 that are over 1,000, and that's Patrick Brown and Ron Converse. I would imagine those 2 are going to be in the finals.
I think those 2 are going to be battling.
And that's going to be a good battle.
I think those 2 are going to be battling. And is Jim Oates in 50 and over? Is he 55?
Yes.
Okay.
And
He's a solid player.
Yeah.
He's already in town. I saw him last night out at Waterworks, and he's always a solid player that you really can never count out, especially on courses like this that aren't super grueling as far as, big distances, long holes, and we're only playing 1 round a day. Tee times, 1 round a day, so it's in and out. So
Eric Rainey as well, I just saw on here.
Eric Rainey's a solid player as well.
And
yeah, what's his rating? He's got to be...
He's 988.
Okay.
He's from Broken Arrow, Oklahoma, so
that's lower than I would expect Eric Rainey. He is an underrated player.
Yeah. And he's from Oklahoma. Now, I know just from seeing him about, I got to imagine he's pretty familiar with the courses out there.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
he's been playing for a real... I mean, what's his PDJ number? It's a 4-digit, right?
No, it's 41947.
Is it? Okay, all right.
So,
maybe,
but yeah,
maybe
he's
not.
definitely...
But he's definitely a solid player.
Yeah, for sure. So it's going to be good stuff out there. So I believe that Terry's going to do some shot-by-shot coverage type stuff. I hope I don't get in trouble by saying that. I don't know what he's decided on it, if he's just going to do semifinals or finals or whatnot. So
Or both.
Or both. So we'll have to wait and see.
I have a question on here from Travis asking, Bobby, did you play Branson Trails in Branson?
I did not get a chance to play Branson Trails. I played the Treehouse course Really cool course. That thing has a lot of elevation.
Is that the one on the old golf course where the baskets are like on the golf greens?
Yes, and you start out and you've got some nice wide open shots, but you're going up and down, walking down to the fairway, walking back up to so it's got a lot of that. And then all of a sudden, about hole 12, you are in the woods, and you're playing, and you don't get out of it until about hole 16. And then it's some really nice wide open shots. And, of course, it has 19 holes. But the last 2 holes are just ones you're just like, yeah, these are pretty. It looks pretty, yeah, and you're ready to mash and stuff like that.
Cool.
So,
awesome.
I didn't keep score, but if I would have, it would have been like a 14 down. So, but I don't want to brag. But I'm kidding.
I don't want to brag, but
it would have been more like a 9, 8 or 9 up. So, but anyway, I had a good time. But as the week started going, we had other things scheduled to do. Of course, it was a vacation with my wife, so I did not get a chance to play Branson Trails. But it won't be the last time I go back to Branson because I really like that place. Let's see. What do you say? We've been chit-chatting for a while. What do you say we get into some questions?
Let's do.
Let me get to my question form here. We're gonna skip through and we're gonna get some ones that are specifically on courses because you're the course design master.
Let's do it.
This one's from Mike. He says, I'm a fairly new player and I have questions about the differences in the colors of a course, such as a red course or a blue course. I use an app to keep score and it will sometimes show different colors for different places I am playing, or will have more than one color. Do the colors refer to how hard a course plays? If so, what order are they in from easiest to hardest?
I don't think there's there's not a standard.
Yeah.
That's like, this is it. Typically, if you hear gold course, that's kind of when you can know it's referring to the championship level course when you hear gold. But as far as that goes, it's not like traditional golf where you have red tees, blue tees, and white tees.
Yeah.
It's not like that in black tees, but it's nothing like that with us. I think it's just tells you sometimes the color of the basket or something like that. There's really no way to tell.
Now you will see some courses that will refer to the blue tee pads or the red tee pads, and that's to differentiate between skill level. But there's no no set rules as far as what each course will follow.
Correct.
So I would definitely, if there's a specific course, Mike, I would definitely try to look on Facebook or try to get a hold of some locals and see, hey, I noticed this, and what's the story on these, and you'll get kind of the local story on that.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to another one on courses. Here we go. This is from Spencer. He says, "What's up, Disc Golf Answerman? I was wondering if you guys have played any of the courses here in Manhattan, and what are your thoughts? More specifically, Fairmont, Tuttle Creek, and the new University Park.
Nice.
If you haven't, I strongly suggest University Park. Par 63 with elevation changes similar to Waterworks."
Ooh, really?
Have you played in that area?
I have. It's been many years since I have, but I played Tuttle Creek. I used to play a tournament there, the Little Apple Open, because Manhattan is coined as the Little Apple instead of the Big Apple, like Manhattan, New York kind of thing. Are you with me?
I get it, yeah.
Okay, I wasn't sure if you were with me or not.
No,
Sometimes you never know. But
that's true.
But no, I enjoyed Tuttle Creek. It's been a while since I've been there. I do have a fun story from Tuttle Creek.
Okay.
A few years ago, many years ago actually. But I remember playing a tournament there, and it was in the middle of summer, and then all of a sudden, a huge storm came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Just absolutely nowhere, right? And I remember in the middle of the fairways, there some of the holes at least had these shelters in them that were concrete, and they were like big 4x4 pillars, concrete pillars right in the middle of them. And we would hang out under those during rain when it was a rainstorm and whatnot. I remember the storm coming through, and there was a tornado really close. I'm pretty sure it was just a severe thunderstorm rolling through, but I remember seeing a guy's boat on his trailer. It wasn't attached to his truck, but it was just there, and the wind was pushing it across the fairway. So we were hanging on to the pillar looking, and we could just see a boat fly. It was crazy. It was one of the craziest things I've ever seen during a disc golf tournament. But yeah, I need to check out that course you mentioned. I will definitely do that next time I'm in the area. Tuttle Creek it was a lot of fun back then. Things change. I don't know what it looks like now. I would assume it's probably pretty close to the same. So
reminds me of the movie Twister with the cow that flies by.
We've got cows.
We've got cows. All right, next question comes from Scott McCamp. My wife and I are heading to Western Canada, Edmonton, Jasper, Banff, Kamloops and Whistler
Ooh,
in
yeah.
mid-July. I'm looking to play some disc golf in the area. He has 2 questions. First one is, how does elevation affect discs? And 2, what courses should I play?
Cool. Awesome. Well, I will say elevation will affect your disc in a major way. I mean, it's hard to explain. It's hard to believe it. You know what I mean? When I
Right.
tell you you're going to be throwing your disc that you normally throw for rollers or big turnovers as your straight shot or your even your overstable disc. We've played in, now granted, I'm not sure what the elevation is out in Western Canada. I'm sure it's nothing like the Rockies or Aspen Pine Tree Bash that I played at in Flagstaff. But everything is going to be just a touch more overstable. You will notice, the thing that I noticed the most was my putts tend to stay up in the air just a touch longer too in that altitude, the higher up you are.
So would you change your bag at all? Like change your bag, or just no? You gotta.
If I'm going out for casual, if
Yeah.
it's just a fun trip, no, I probably wouldn't.
Okay.
I may throw in a couple more understable discs, but if it was a tournament, then absolutely. I would definitely change things up a little bit and make do with kind of what I got if it was just for casual play.
Now, are you familiar with any of the courses that he
Yeah,
mentioned?
I've actually played the Canadian Nationals, I think it was.
Mhm.
I can't remember the name of the tournament. I'm bad, but it was in Kamloops where he's going through Kamloops, and there's such a fabulous disc golf club out there, the Kamloops Disc Golf Club. We spent a lot of time, I think 3 or 4 years in a row. We went up and played their tournament and stayed with Carrie and Neil and Clinton Tracy and just all around great people there in Kamloops. And it's a pretty small community, so if you just look for the disc golf courses there in Kamloops, you'll find them. I've actually been working with them on, there's a piece of property that the city just received, and they're trying to iron through all the red tape and figure out if it's zoned for disc golf, if they can have a disc golf course there.
Okay.
And if they can, they're going to bring me out to put the course in, which
Nice.
would be awesome because I would love to get back up to that area.
That'd be cool.
Such good people up there.
All right, next one comes from Luke, and this is on discs. He says, I have not thrown enough discs to be able to compare different plastics from the same disc side by side. Can you give some guidelines for which plastic are best for which kinds of discs? How do CoolDaddySlickBreeze, EMAC, and Robert McCall decide which plastic to buy? Is stiffness and grip just personal preference? Are certain plastics inherently more stable? Thanks, you guys, and keep it real. So how do you select plastic?
Should I keep it real?
Keep it real.
Should I?
This is if there's any place to keep it real,
This is it?
this is the place.
This is the one?
This is
Okay.
the one.
All right. Well, okay, here's how I'm going to keep it real. I played for Discraft for 10 years, right? I threw Z Plastic when I was with them because I'll be honest with you, I personally, and this is personal preference, I thought that their ESP plastic was low quality. I thought anytime I used it, it would beat up too quick, it would chip. So I just personally preferred to use the Z plastic. I thought it was a great plastic. I thought it was durable, grippy, and I loved everything about it. So when I transitioned back over to All DD, I just kind of stuck with that mindset and tried our Lucid plastic over our Fusion plastic, and I pretty much bag all Lucid plastic, like a couple hybrids in there, some Optos obviously, which Opto and Lucid are basically the same thing. But for me, it's really personal preference. I think that Lucid's a touch more stable in the longevity of things. You know, Fusion may be a touch more overstable out of the box, but it'll beat in a little quicker and be straighter a little longer probably, as where the Lucid tends to hold its integrity a little bit more.
Since I don't play a lot, you know, my discs tend to last longer.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because they don't get beat in as much as like say.
You don't hit trees.
Right, I
is
don't
what
hit
you're
any
saying.
trees.
No roads.
Yeah, and my putters only hit
No baskets.
cage. No, only not
Only
cage.
hit ground.
Only hit. I meant only hit chains, and I said cage. No, so I, on the other hand, prefer Fusion. I just like that grippiness, and then I can't. As far as like does Fusion beat in faster than Lucid or whatnot? You know, I base all that on the disc and what I'm expecting out of the flight as far as like wanting a biofusion or something like that. I have a couple of Lucid because of the same thing that Eric said, is that if there's a disc and I'm like, man, I really want that to have just a touch, a little bit more, be a little more stable than I get it in Lucid. Just like a Maverick, I have two Lucid Mavericks and two Fusion Mavericks, and the Lucid ones are because I want a touch more stability, and it feels like that's what I get. But if it came down to what I want for the grip and the feel in my hand, it's definitely Fusion. So that's how I select it. But really, what it does, it comes down to, and we say this all the time, it really comes down to preference.
Yeah, it does. 100%.
When it comes to either Lucid or Fusion or the VIP and the Opto and the tournament plastic versus what's the equivalent of Westside tournament and
TP, I said VIP.
Oh, I said VIP, TP, Opto, and Gold Line. That's what I'm trying to say. Because when you select one, so let's say like Eric, I like the Lucid, I like that. Well, then he's going to make his adjustments based on what the molds he picks based on his liking of Lucid.
Yep.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
So
I just prefer the Lucid plastic. It's just something about it. It's grippier to me. I don't know. I'm just confident with it. I think is where what the bottom line is.
And admittedly, it does kind of get not confusing, but you've really got to think it through because now if you're thinking, man, I really love a Trespass, but if I could just have it a tick more stable, then we've got the Lucid X, which is a whole different blend.
And amazing, and you should pick up a few.
Right, and they're very limited because for whatever reason that's the way we're doing it. But Lucid X is something if you like a disc and you're thinking I want to try it in something that's got a little bit more overstability.
A little bit more overstability or the stiffness, a little more stiffness to it too.
All right, next one comes from Ryan. This is another one on discs. My question is about certain plastic with certain molds. Those kind of along the same lines. Right. I've read some posts and heard you guys say some plastics like Lucid X doesn't work with certain molds. This is true.
That is very true.
Question: when you say the plastic doesn't work with a mold, what exactly do you mean? Okay, we'll talk about that first.
What that means is it doesn't for whatever reason doesn't want to mold. It doesn't want to. Maybe it'll have some imperfections. It'll come out overweight. They can't get it as legal weight. There's just a handful of things that really could affect it, and for whatever reason, some molds are maybe just the way they're shaped, even if it's off, or similar to another one like let's talk about the Lucid X EMAC.
Yeah,
we made some of those. There wasn't very many of them made because they were struggling to make them. But then a disc like the Lucid X Verdict that we just produced, that we were able to produce a lot of them, which is kind of weird because both of those discs are pretty similar in feel, but they're off just a touch. To where they, for whatever reason, the Lucid EMAC just didn't want to hold it.
Yeah. Now that's not to say they might not figure it out.
Of course not.
And I mean, and that kind of sounds bad, like they don't know what they're doing. Mm-hmm. They know exactly what they're doing, but when they come out with new plastics and new molds and stuff like that, it's a process.
Yep.
It's a learning process, and they take the knowledge that they know and they try to improve it, and they try to do it better, and they try to come up with new things. So, yeah. His second question was, for those limited discs that were made and released in the plastic that doesn't work for the mold, are they good enough quality to throw, or should I put it on my wall as cool display collector piece? I think there's some maybe some miscommunication here, misinformation. When we say it doesn't work for the mold, they wouldn't have produced it if it was going to be crappy.
Exactly.
Right. So
they would have sent it back to the green machine.
Right, and they just may not mass produce it, or they may not. I can't think of a specific mold, but I'm sure there's a mold that. God, I don't even.
It's
know.
Like the EMAC. I mean, it's exactly like the EMAC because they could only make a couple hundred of them.
Right.
I think is what they had, 200 of them that were made, and for whatever reason, that's all that they could make, and as of right now, they don't plan to go back to it. And as far as if that's the disc that you're speaking about, is the Lucid X EMAC, because that's probably, I would say it is the lowest quantity run of the Lucid X plastics. I would highly recommend throwing it, honestly. Okay. I've got one in my bag, and I love how it throws. The only stipulation I would say, or thing to be concerned about, is if you lose it, it's going to be tough to replace.
Right. Because
it is so limited. So, it depends. Throw it, and if you love the way it flies, then why wouldn't you throw it? If a disc flies great for you and you don't have another disc to do that, throw it.
Throw it. Just don't lose it.
Just don't lose it.
Next one was from Justin. In 1 week, I'll be playing a B tier called "What the Hell Was I Thinking?" Open. Okay.
Sounds like us in Sweden a couple years ago.
It's a 2-day tournament that plays 5 different courses. Whoa. Saturday, we play 2 short, tick-infested courses.
Ouch.
And 1 tough course. Sunday, we play a short wooded course and a tough wooded course. This will test my hydration and endurance more than any other disc golf game. What's the craziest tournament or format or condition that you've played in? Well, you just kind of referred to it earlier. We're going to say real quick, Justin, of course, you've already played it because of when this question was sent in, but I hope you guys, when you know you need to be hydrated, hydrate days before you go out there. Don't drink all your water that morning.
Yeah. Why not?
Because it hadn't had a chance to get in your system.
To circulate?
Right, to get in your system.
And out?
And out. So I don't know the scientific reason or the medical, but I'm not saying don't, but if you're like going to play in super high humidity, don't wait until that morning or that night to hydrate. You need to be hydrating days before.
Yeah. Months before.
Well, I don't know about months, but
why not?
I don't know.
You should always hydrate.
This
You're
is
always
true.
preparing for something.
That's true.
Definitely stay hydrated. But the craziest event I've ever been a part of is the 81-hole disc golf challenge, and it took place in 1 day. It wasn't like a 2-day event or anything like that. It was in Sweden. They have at the disc golf terminalen. Mm-hmm. There is how many layouts are out there? Do you know?
15.
That's a lot.
No, I don't know.
81 holes are out there. I know that, and we played them all. We played all of them in 1 day. It was crazy.
I want to say like 4 or 5.
There's probably 4 or 5 courses. That's probably pretty accurate.
All right, next one comes from Anonymous. Hey, guys, it's time for a rant.
Let's rant it up.
Here we go. Here comes the rant. We have a private course here in Battle Creek, Michigan, not open to the public. However, the owner has it on Disc Golf Scene and UDisc advertising it. Anyone who tries to contact the owner about playing is told that it's a private course that is playable only if you're friends.
Oh.
I understand it's private property course, but I feel like he is rubbing it in our faces that he has this course and nobody is allowed to play it. Have you seen something similar? I don't know of this course. I'm not going to speak on...
I can't speak for him.
Right, I can't speak for him and his reason for posting it in a public forum, but then not allowing. I mean, it's his lane. He can do it what he wants.
That's true.
If he wants to post about it on whatever, he can. Maybe eventually he's going to make it go public.
Maybe. I don't know. I'm not familiar with the area.
Have you ever had anything like that happen with other courses?
I've seen private courses in the past that are, private that you're not allowed to, that you kind of have to have a special invite to play. There's a couple in Texas, actually. One of them is at the Frito-Lay factory down there. They have a course there, and it's technically only supposed to be for employees.
Do you get chips every time you play?
I hope so. Chili cheese Fritos.
Chili cheese Fritos.
But no, I haven't really ever experienced anything like that before.
I do know of people that have private courses that at the beginning it was pretty open to anybody to play, and it still is, but I do know that there's a lot of maintenance when it comes to a disc golf course.
Especially on private land.
Yes.
Then
and
you don't have somebody paid that's
Right.
going out and doing that.
And that costs money, and there are a lot of times where people would come in. Unfortunately, the people that take advantage of it and don't respect the land make the honest people have to pay for it. So that may be his reason. Maybe he got burned in the past where...
Could be.
So he just allowed somebody to come play, and they left trash everywhere or something like that. I don't know.
That's too bad. Pack it out. If you pack it in, pack it out.
This one comes from Gustavo. I throw the patrol, and I love it for hyzer flips that glide to the right and don't come back. Now, if you guys don't know, the Dynamic Disc Patrol is the Trilogy Challenge putter.
Brand new.
So that's why maybe if you haven't heard of it quite yet. I have a Roadrunner for long shots to the right, but I need something 6 or 7 speed that I can't reach with the Patrol, but is way too short for the Roadrunner. I'm basically looking for an understable flight like the Patrol, but longer. What do you guys suggest? Help. My three I may choose from are Sear, Mall, or Underworld.
Okay. I'll put Witness on that list.
Witness.
Can I get a witness to testify? You're supposed to testify, Bobby.
Oh, testify.
All right. It's a. Do you have much experience with the Witness?
I used to throw, but not anymore.
Was it too understable for you?
It started becoming really too
Yeah.
understable, and I haven't tried like a roller game with it.
Right. I think the Witness is a great disc. I think the Patrol is pretty understable for a mid-range, and I think that the Witness is pretty understable for a driver. So I
Yeah.
think they would be pretty similar to each other. The ones that you talked about potentially trying was what now? Did you still got that up? The
He said, yeah.
Sear
The Sear,
Underworld.
the Ball, and the Underworld.
and the Mall. Those are going to be understable, but not like
the
super
Patrol.
understable. Not like the Patrol. Those are going to be more like the Evidence.
Right.
So, and the Patrol's like 2 steps down from there, the Warrant in between them. So, I would give a Witness a try.
Yeah. When I was in Branson playing at the Cedar, I threw the Patrol a few times because I want to
Try it out.
try it out, and I do. I really like it for my arm speed. It does have the understable throw.
Like a
but-
hyzer flip for you? Is
Yeah,
that how you're throwing it?
but I wasn't throwing it hard. It was more like an approach where I wanted
Mm-hmm.
to have it just ride ever so slightly to the right.
Right.
And I really liked it for that. Next one comes from
Disc Golf Nerd says he has a private course, 1 hole, 18 feet long in his garage. That's pretty sweet.
Does he play 18?
Can I?
18
Is it open to the public?
tournaments? Yeah. Let's see. This is from James. I'm newish to disc golf, about 4 months, and just purchased the Hard Zero Mercy putter online. Absolutely love it. Would love to try
Yeah.
more discs from the trio. Oh, now we're called the trio
I like it. I like the trio.
instead of trilogy.
I like that.
But retailers in my area only have Innova, and I'm hesitant to buy discs online that I have never held. Is there a guide that compares flights of different companies' molds so I can find a DD Westside or Lat 64 disc that is comparable to an Innova?
Yes, there is. Go to MarshallStreet.com.
Oh, that Marshall has it?
Marshall Street's they have an amazing flight guide.
Oh, nice.
Yes. And what's really cool about it is you can take manufacturers in or out. So if you don't want to see whatever this manufacturer has on the flight chart, you can get rid of those. So it's pretty cool. I don't know if I think it's relatively new. The updated version, at least. I know Bobby's kind of checking it out right now.
Flight guide.
Flight guide.
I went to MarshallStreetDiscGolf.com.
MarshallStreetDiscGolf.com.
Man,
Go to
our
flight guide.
Internet is slow here.
There you go.
Oh,
And then you
wow.
can click on the, like you can get rid of them, like on the
Oh,
X,
okay.
and you can get rid of the ones you don't want on there, and then you can compare.
That is most excellent.
Isn't
There
that
you-
awesome?
There you go, guys.
And they're all color coordinated, and they have, this is based off of what they think. It's not
correct.
off of anything else. So a couple of them may be a little questionable here and there, but that's going to happen no matter what.
Right.
So, but Marshall Street is definitely one that I would recommend checking out.
It says Ledgestone.
I know, I saw that, but there's no discs.
That's interesting.
So I don't know if it's because Ledgestone is partnered with Discraft and
Ledgestone refers to fundraiser frisbee.
Yes,
Okay.
there you go. Because they always do fundraisers for the
I gotcha.
Ledgestone Open.
I gotcha.
Marshall Street, check them out.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
MarshallStreet.com. There you go, man. All right, next question comes from. Before we go to the next question, let's actually talk a little bit about trilogy challenges.
Or Trio Challenge.
Or We're gonna have to get a new website. We're gonna have to make new banners and everything. So let's just do a quick update. We have 359 events that are scheduled or have happened. 46 states, 19 countries. It's the middle. Let's see. It's August, just the start of August, and there's still. Oh gosh, there's plenty of events still ready to go.
Plentiful.
The last one goes October 7th. So, guys, make sure you go to trilogychallenge.com/events and look through there and see if you can find one in your area. Let's see what's coming up. Wednesday, August. So, this weekend, the 10th, we have one in Finland.
Oh, let's
one
go.
in Indiana, Georgia, Alberta, Canada, Tennessee, Louisiana, Wisconsin, Iowa, Washington. Wow, everywhere. Texas, Saskatchewan.
Whoa.
South Carolina. That's all just this coming up weekend.
That's awesome.
So
if there isn't one in their area, people can obviously run one. Do you know the date that they have to have it in by?
I do not know the exact date, but I do know they run all the way through
October is the last month that you can do it. So
definitely you've got time.
You've got a little bit of time, but get on the ball. Start getting on it if there isn't one in your area, or if there is one in your area and it already happened and you want to run one again in a month or so. Do it. Make it happen.
Here we go. All it says in the register your event. Please remember that all events must be between May 26th and October 7th. So as long as you can get it on the schedule before October 7th, you're good to go.
Yes. Okay, cool.
Cool.
Good
All
to
right.
know.
Let's back to the questions. Let's see. The person didn't put their name. They said trying to find a disc tad more stable than the Trespass, but less stable than the Defender. Looking at possibly a catapult, or should I just try to beat in my Bio Defenders?
So he's looking for something between the
Trespass and the Defender.
Trespass and the Defender.
Yeah, more stable than Trespass, less than Defender.
I mean, a couple things you could do is a Lucid X Trespass,
Okay.
which is more stable than a normal run Trespass. But if you're looking for something in between those two, I always have recommended the Bio Enforcer as one. I think it's a great disc. A lot of people forgot about the Bio Enforcers when the Defender came out with how overstable it is. But I really, really enjoy throwing the Biofusion Enforcers. They're a little bit less overstable than the normal Lucid or Fusion lines, but it's a great disc, and I think it is between a Trespass and a Defender.
Nice. We've got to get new chairs.
Yeah.
This is hurting. Sorry, guys. It's hurting my hips.
It's rough.
We're really trying to work on for the YouTube people that are watching. We're pretty soon. This is going to be changed. It's going to be different.
Yes.
And maybe I can talk us into getting a new chair and new tables.
Like granite.
Aren't these chairs? Their chairs aren't very comfortable.
They're pretty bad.
Yeah. Anyway, next question. This is from Zach. One of our local courses has a few wooded holes, and the grass will get over knee high. The Parks Department will not allow the local club to maintain this area for liability reasons.
Bummer.
We've asked them to sign a waiver in the past. Also, we try to have good relations with the park. The park seems like they don't want to work with the disc golf community. Do have you problems? Oh,
do you have?
Do you have problems working with local parks departments on maintenance?
Man, I hate to make everyone jealous right now, but
No.
not even a little bit. Like our Emporia Parks department is second to none in my opinion. I've traveled, I've seen a lot. However, I will say majority of the time when I'm out traveling playing events, when I was touring, the course was always top notch because there's a tournament going on, so they want to beautify it, make it look pretty for the event. And if you go to maybe that area when the tournament's not going on, if the courses look the same, that's when you know that you have a great parks department. Yeah. And our parks department is awesome. They're out there mowing. I think they mow every day in the summer. Like the grass never gets higher than your like ankles out there. If the grass is too tall, it's like very, 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 very small still, and you're still complaining. If we still complain about it, because it's something you're used to. Right. When you're used to that kind of stuff. So I do feel bad for places that don't have a maintenance crew that will put time and effort into cleaning the course or mowing the course or trimming limbs and all that. And it's especially a bummer when if the city obviously doesn't have time for it, that they won't let the club maintenance it for free, basically. I mean, granted, there's liability and blah, 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 all that fun stuff, but it's kind of a bummer.
Yeah, hopefully.
What happened?
All right, hopefully the live stays with us. I don't think so. My computer is freaking out over here. So we'll continue with the audio. If we lose you on the live, we apologize. We'll try to get you back, but it looks like my computer does not like. I did an update right before we went live, and like normal, updates are screwing things up. So let's get back to the questions, and we'll hang on to the live as long as we can. Let's see. Let's move on to. Here are the good rules questions. This is from Anonymous. What would happen if a spectator purposely ran into the fairway, caught a disc mid-flight, and threw it further along towards the basket, or purposely stopped the disc in flight?
Interesting. I would love to see that happen. Are you trying to do that, or are you looking up the rule?
I'm trying to make this happen.
Okay. I'm pretty sure that it would be. I don't know what would happen if he would throw it. I'm pretty sure it's kind of play it where it was, as far as not play it where it lies, but let's look up the rule just to be sure, because I know that they've changed a bunch of rules.
Okay, I'm looking. I just found 810 interference.
Interference.
I would think that would apply.
Yes, it would.
If a thrown disc has moved after coming to rest, okay, that's after rest. Let's see. A thrown disc that has come to rest elsewhere does not need it. Wait. If a player or their equipment, if a player or their equipment interferes with their own throw, the player is assessed one penalty throw.
That I knew.
Okay.
That's like if you hit a putt and it bounces out and it rolls into your bag.
A player who intentionally interferes with a disc in any of the following ways receives 2 penalty throws. Okay, so if you messed with my throw, then you get 2 penalties. Let's see. A thrown disc that strikes a person or animal is played where it first comes to rest. I would think that would apply.
Yep, that's it.
It interferes. A player must stand or leave their equipment where a disc in play that was thrown by another player and comes to rest on or behind the line may... Okay, yeah, it's got to be that. A thrown disc that strikes a person or animal is played where it first comes to rest.
Yep.
So I got to imagine if you threw it and I purposely caught it and threw it some other direction or even threw it down, what if I threw it further?
Or
and,
into
and
the
it
basket.
was an advantage to you?
What if you did one of those, when the disc flies on, and they roll their chest? It was going the wrong way and you rolled it toward the basket.
And I roll it into the basket? It doesn't really address that.
It doesn't, but if that happened, I would make the player play it where the interference happened. That's what I get from it.
A thrown disc whose course was intentionally altered is given a position at the point of contact as agreed upon the group. There you go.
So if Bobby catches it, it's where Bobby caught it.
The thrower may choose to play from the resulting lie or to abandon the throw without penalty. That's it.
Yep.
810D. So if Eric threw it and I grabbed it and I threw it backwards, like the wrong way.
Or at me.
Or at you, yeah. Then you could say, I will take it from where it hit Bobby.
Yep.
Without penalty.
Mm-hmm.
And then if I threw it farther and gave you to an advantage, then the same thing, yeah.
It's the same thing regardless.
Yeah, that's true.
You're going to play it from the same spot regardless.
Or to abandon the throw. So you could, if I were to catch it and throw it the wrong way, you could say that
didn't
count.
happen. I'm rethrowing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would make sense. Okay.
That's cool.
Obviously, you would take care of the person that did that. But you would eject them from the course.
Yeah,
or
of
get
course.
rid of them.
You would.
Something like that.
That's crazy that's never really, that I know of, that's never happened.
I don't know.
It'd be pretty cool to see, though.
Let's see. Trying to find another course one. I know there's more in here. Let's take this one from Andy. I love my suspect and the way it feels. Lately, I've been looking for a driving putter that's a little more straight for shorter touch shots, 150 to 250 feet. But I also want to be able to put some gas into it.
Gas.
I don't need mid-range speed. However, I'm not a fan of the deep-rimmed feel of a putter when I'm throwing harder. Seeing the flight of the Fuji, I wonder, is this a situation where I can get that 4-speed approach disc feel with putter flight and distance? Do you guys have any of the other suggestions?
So overstable is what he's wanting.
Sounds
right?
like it.
That's kind of what I'm gathering.
Yeah.
The Fuji is great, but I don't think that's what you're looking for. It is a true mid-range. It flies like a mid-range. So, I mean, if you're not looking for a mid-range, what I would recommend is a slammer.
Okay.
Because it's nice and overstable, and you can put some meat behind it. I mean, you can absolutely mash on a slammer, and
it's not too deep rim because you said he's not a fan of deep rim.
Yeah, exactly. It's not deep at all, but that's why I didn't suggest like the Cenis, which is a touch less stable than the slammer, but it's definitely deep dish. So I would recommend a slammer.
Deep dish pizza, right from Chicago.
Delicious.
All right, next one comes from Josh. Hi, friends. 2-part question here. I have a warped disc, a Renegade. Oh,
bummer.
Is there any way to get this disc back to normal? And 2, if not, how do you think the bend in the disc will affect its flight?
I'm not sure how the bend in the disc is going to affect the flight. It's going to affect it in some way or the other, but anytime I have a warp disc, which I've had warp discs before, Bobby's experienced warp discs before as well. Yep. What I've always done is just kind of throw it up on my dash in my car in the old Element. And with the heat, it'll get super hot and gummy and really flexible, and it majority of the time kind of pops back into place.
Of course, this is on a nice warm day.
Yes,
not on like a snowy day or
something. Yeah, you don't. I don't know that it would work in the middle of winter, but it definitely works in the middle of summer.
Yeah. I think one time Ron Converse, because I had mentioned something like that on a Facebook group somewhere, and Ron Converse said he takes hot water from the faucet and pours it into the so you take your disc and turn it upside down. You pour the hot water in there.
Okay.
I can't remember what the other process.
Like boiling water.
Yeah. Well, not boiling, but just hot from the
Super
faucet.
hot, yeah.
And you set it in there and let it set for a while, and that kind of obviously makes the plastic more, is it malleable? More soft. So yeah. Next one comes from Jeremy. Hey y'all, I recall a few years back coverage from the Japan Open where they have a disc weight class limit of 150 or lower. It was fun to see the professionals have to adjust to a significantly different weight class than they're used to. Just curious if you've seen similar tournaments or other unique tournament styles. Do you think these types of rules limitations will make it into more tournaments as the sport grows? Love what you do.
No.
Nah.
I think the reason they did it is, I'd heard rumors the reason they did it is because of overpopulation, and it wouldn't hurt as much getting hit.
Which doesn't make a lot of sense.
And it's small parks. I don't know. That's what I heard, because it's still going to hurt. I don't know if that's true or not. But do I see that? Not necessarily just that, but like forcing players to throw a forehand or something like that, or a certain disc. No, I don't. I think I think we need to get away from that kind of stuff and just kind of have an industry standard that everybody kind of follows, as opposed to having rules that, yeah, sure, if the TD's discretion wants to use this rule, they can. You know, kind of like the 2-meter rule.
Yeah.
Either use it or don't. Like, abolish it. There's no reason to get to a tournament and wonder, wow, I wonder if the 2-meter rule's in play at this tournament. You know what I mean? Because as a TD, you still have that discretion to use it if you want.
Yeah.
And I think it'd be nice if it was just, here's the rules. This is what we play by. If you're a PDGA sanctioned event, do it, as opposed to having certain rules where you can, have like asterisks next to it, or we're going to try this rule at this tournament. Those kind of things. I think we need to kind of get away from.
Now this is a totally casual environment, but I know something fun that Eric Oakley and Tina Stenice do is their bag of tricks. They haven't done one in a while, but they do it to where you sign up and you, like 3 holes, you have to, no, they give you 4 or 5 different ways of throwing. You have to use them so many times. So
that's a little different.
Yeah,
that's completely different to me. Go ahead.
I know it's different. I was just thinking where you said we're
well, the reason I think it's different is because what they're doing with these tour stops is they're introducing the sport to players. They are having players work on shots that they don't normally do,
true,
that they find themselves. So if they find themselves in that situation in a tournament, they can throw that forehand.
That's true.
Or as opposed to forcing players to throw a certain shot
true.
during a sanctioned
I was just trying
event.
to figure out a way to plug them. So
no, yeah, it's good.
No, I'm teasing.
Yeah, it's great.
No, yeah, you're right. That's different, but it is. I just thought about it as a way to have a different format, a challenging format where you're forced to have to pick when to use a forehand, when you have to use a thumber and sidearm and stuff like that. Next one is from Aaron. He says, some buddies and I will be traveling to Emporia in the fall to hit up the local courses and stop in at the DD factory. The plan is to play 2 rounds the first day and 2 rounds the second, with some DD store sprinkled in. My question is, of the courses available in the Emporia area, which 4 would you recommend as must stops? I saw the Visit Emporia section on DD website, but wanted to hear a little more from Disc Golf Answer Man.
Depends on when you're coming in the fall. He just said the fall, right?
He says the fall.
The fall. So if you came in the fall, say around October 13th and 14th, you could actually play 2 tournaments that weekend if you were into that. The Radius Brewing Company Open and the Dynamic Discs Open. The Radius Open is at Peter Pan, and the DD Open's at Jones East and West. Now, if you're not into that, you're not into tournaments, you just want to come and have a great time, I highly respect it and don't blame you. The 4 courses, I'll put 4 down, you put 4 down. How about that?
The 4 courses.
The 4 courses that I would recommend, and then you recommend 4 as well.
They'll probably. Some will overlap.
I'm sure
obviously.
they will.
Yeah.
Well, that'll tell them that those are the ones that they need to play.
True that.
So the 4 I would recommend are Peter Pan, obviously. Jones East is another one, and then I would also recommend going out and checking out Swope Park Chase Disc Golf Course in
Swope?
Cottonwood Falls, Kansas, which is about 17 miles west of Emporia on Highway 50. It's super easy to get to. You have plenty of time to play at another course in the same day. So those 3, and then I would suggest going out to Clover Cliff, which is you could do the Clover Cliff and Chase Disc Golf Course in one day because they're both kind of out west. I think it's probably about 35 minutes, 40 minutes to Clover Cliff. And actually, Swope is the halfway point. So those are both great courses out there that you can hit up. And the other 2 in-town staples I would recommend are East and Pan.
I would say Peter Pan for sure.
Mm-hmm.
That's another good one. I mean, it's a toss-up between East and West. I know a lot of people prefer East, but West is actually a pretty fun course.
Yeah.
So I would hit up West, and then I would go out to Cottonwood Falls, Swope, play that, and try to make it to where you can eat at the Ad Astra restaurant. It's like one of those hole-in-the-walls where they have a professional chef, or at least they did. Now, this is a while back that I've eaten there. For some reason, we haven't gone back. But they have some really good food, really good.
Yes, they have really good burger out there.
Yeah, really good burger. And then my 4th one,
There's so many. It's hard.
I know.
Play 3 courses in a day. Not just 2. Play 3 so you can play more.
And then one of the Jones courses again. I would.
You'd play both Joneses.
I'd play both Joneses. Yeah.
Or Jones Gold.
Yeah. You can play.
Depends
Jones
on your
Gold.
skill level and what you're wanting to do.
Now, if you're let's say you're like we just want to play real quick, 9 holes because we want to play some disc golf and we're running out of daylight or something like that. I would go to Hammond Park.
Definitely. I'd go to Hammond Park. Here's another one, the Country Club. Emporia Country Club. It's pay to play, but it's a course that you get to play that you get to watch the pros all played on. And then you could do a little warm-up round at Hammond Park first and then go over there.
Yeah, because I don't know that if I'd play Emporia Country Club and then like something like Jones East.
Yeah.
That's going to wear it.
You
If
could do Pan probably.
Yeah. I mean, if you're ready, if you're like, I'm playing disc golf, then I could say that, but it'll tax you for sure.
It will. Absolutely.
They're long courses, but they're good courses.
They're fun.
Good. Next one is from Clint. What are your favorite design elements for disc golf courses? Example, hole island or forced sidearm?
Hole island? Like an island hole?
Yeah.
Forced sidearm I guess I don't call them forced sidearms. I call them more left to right moving fairways as opposed to forced sidearm. Because when you say forced sidearm, I don't like designing something where, hey, this is the shot. This is the only shot. This is the only way you can get to the hole. You know, I like all levels of play kind of thing, to be fair, kind of, so to speak. So that kind of like the Binghamton course. There's 6 holes that kind of finish straight, 6 holes that finish left, and 6 holes that finish right. So it's kind of fair all across the board for lefties and righties. So for me personally, as good as an island hole is, it's got to be a pretty good island hole for me to implement it on one of my courses.
Next one is from Adam. This is going to be a quick answer. Hello, disc golf fans, man. I love the podcast. I'm currently catching up on old episodes as I started playing disc golf and just found your podcast. My question is, what is the most disc golf you have played in a single day? We currently tried to get 36 in on Sunday and plan on an outing to get 72 over 4 courses in a single day. Being that I live in between Dayton and Columbus, we have access to a lot of different courses within a short drive. Of course, we just mentioned it earlier. It was the 81-hole challenge that was played. I lasted maybe
I think you lasted a round and a half.
About a round and a half, and then Eric shot the entire 81 holes.
I did.
Next one is from J. Maw Disc Recca. When watching disc golf, why do the other players pause and look away when someone is putting? It looks like creepy animatronics powering down. Is it a respect thing, a superstitious thing, or can the pros really alter the flight path of a disc by looking at it, just trying to keep it real?
They absolutely can.
Yes. Have you never tried it? Watch. Oh, see?
Dang it.
The camera almost fell over. I had such a powerful stare.
Man.
Anyway.
I think it's just a lack of, a lack of. I think it's a means of respect for the other player. Just to kind of, when I do it, I kind of grab my putter. Like I made a putt, and then Bobby's up next. I'll grab my putter and walk out of his view. And I think I just look down so I can focus in on something on the ground as opposed to not move at all. So like if I have my head up and I'm looking around and I see a bird fly by, my natural reaction is going to be, to follow that bird or that car or that person running or whatever's going on, is where when I'm looking at the ground, I can just stay still and focused, as opposed to moving and potentially screwing up the other competitor.
Yeah, I don't think it's so much looking down, more as just staying still, because when you're concentrating on a basket, and you're getting ready to do that putt, you don't want any distractions. Now, one could argue, well, you shouldn't let things distract you. But if you're that close, if you're 5 feet away, 6 feet away, or if you're within the line side or kind of in the peripheral, you want to extend the same respect that you might expect from other players, which is to kind of sit still.
Yeah.
And I think maybe it's just natural to kind of put your head down as you're sitting still.
Yep. That's some Jedi stuff right there, Sean says. He's not wrong.
All right, we got time for one more question from the Google Forms, and then I'll give the warning to YouTube people.
YouTubers.
If you've got any questions for Eric, shoot them, post them in the comments. And
or Bobby.
Or Bobby, and post those in there. And it looks like we're still got the warning on my computer, but we're still holding fast on the
we're still live.
Yeah, so I'm not going to touch it until we're ready to end the live.
That's right.
So it doesn't mess up. All right, let's get this one from Andy B. I know there's a lot of debate on which beats in faster, biofusion or fusion. What do you guys think, and what have you noticed from your experience?
I've noticed, from my experience at least, that the biofusion beats in quicker. And I think it's probably just because of the nature of the plastic. It's regrind plastic, so it's already plastic that's been manufactured, been put through the whatever you want to call it, the mold, and then for whatever reason needed to be grind back up and then melted back down and then put back through the mold.
Yeah.
And I personally believe that the biofusion beats in a little bit quicker.
I mean, the thing is, that's just the nature of plastic. I don't care what manufacturer you are. The nature of plastic is that it's going to beat in, that's what we like to call it, and it's going to affect the flight. Now, whether it affects it dramatically or not dramatically, that, of course, differs from manufacturers all the way to differ from people's opinions. But the biofusion definitely is something that I would say across the board, even if Robert was here, he would agree that biofusion is going to beat in quicker than fusion. And that's not even a bad thing.
No.
In fact, I know that Paige Pierce prefers biofusion in some of her discs because she knows it's going to beat in, because she wants that beat in feel or that beat in flight. So it's not necessarily a bad thing. All right. What's your name? Eric?
Yes.
What do we got from our YouTube people?
We've got a couple questions, not a whole lot. TJ just turned in and asked, Ledgestone, y'all going?
So I've been debating, and I think the final answer for me is no. I'm not going to go to.
Considering it starts tomorrow.
Right.
Thinking about signing up tonight.
Well, I was going to say I was going to go out there because we have a lot of players out there.
We do.
Just about every one of our touring players that normally is out there touring, but even some people that aren't always. Steven Jacobs is going to be out there.
Awesome.
Jake, is it Heppenheimer? Heppenheimer is going to be out there. Isaiah
Esquivel,
our world champion.
World champ.
Isaiah is going to be there. He's going to be playing advanced. Cynthia, our other world champ, is going to be out there. Mm-hmm. So we're going to have a lot of representation. And even on the Latitude 64 side, there's a lot of the big names that you expect out at the big tournaments. And then some more out there. So I was thinking, man, I need to be out there to capture some of this. But
we've got a couple. We got a couple guys. I know, and I think, is Danny playing?
Danny is actually out there playing.
Okay, he's playing. Robert is playing too.
Yeah, but they both are going to be doing stuff on Instagram Story and Snapchat while they're not playing. And then, of course, Brian Shintaku, who's our team manager, is going to be out there. Now, he's actually not playing. He's out there to work, so he's going to do some
They all took the
stuff.
RV out there, I know, and they're out there.
So it just came down to...
I'm not personally going because I just got back from New York.
So much going on.
And I've got the Masters coming up that I wanted to be focused on. I could have gone and played both, I suppose, but I've been gone, Bobby. I've been gone.
You've been gone a lot.
Like Maine for a couple weeks, Alaska for a couple weeks, Europe for a couple weeks, and then New York for a couple weeks. And now it's nice to just be home for a little bit and then go to Masters for a week. And then, you know what? I don't think we're going to Worlds either this year. Me. Pro Worlds.
Oh. It's like, wait a minute. I think I am.
No, you guys are.
Yeah, but
you guys are so good. I don't think I'm going to go.
Really?
I hate to. This is the card I got to play, but it's too expensive.
Yeah.
It's those chalets or whatever they're called that you can rent and stay at.
Yeah.
Super expensive. And unfortunately, the people that we were going to go travel with and stay with out there had to back out. So then that becomes twice as much.
Yeah.
And it's just...
Well, but your priorities are changing, too.
They are.
So.
They are. But I still want to play and compete and all that. But, yeah, so I think we're going to end up backing out of that. And I've got some other designs that I really want to push to the front and kind of get out to and kind of finish up those as opposed to...
Right.
Going
TJ says,
and
cry us a
playing.
river. I'm not sure which river you want me to cry.
That's true.
Let's see. Someone says, can you make a chart where you take every DD disc and compare it to the closest end of a disc? I mean, that's kind of a weird thing. I don't know if we're at that in disc golf yet where we're going to blatantly just tell you.
Just go to Marshall Street.
Go to
like
marshallstreetdiscgolf.com, and they've got a chart where you can compare different manufacturers and discs and stuff like that. Search disc golf course proposal. There's some good material available along with tips on making. Oh, someone asked about 100%. I don't know where that question came from. So let's see. Are you going to be in Michigan for the PDJ United States Women's Disc Golf Championships? Are you going to compete in that?
Right now, no. I would love to go. I know Denise would love to go, but I don't even know when that is. Can you tell me when that is, Chris? Will you comment back on there and tell me when it is, and I'll be able to tell you for sure if I can't go or whatever?
Here we go. Eric, what would you suggest I focus on to get better? I drive 300 to 330-ish with a breakout and feel comfortable putting with my deputy. I've been stuck here for a while. Focus on to get better.
What would I would focus on your putting to get better. If you're already driving 300 to 330 feet ish around that distance, that's a pretty decent distance to have. Once again, all your strokes are going to be made on the putting green, so that's what I always recommend. And it's so much easier to go practice putting as opposed to it is go practice up shots. You don't need to go to the course to practice up shots. You can go to your backyard or your garage. You can go to that one guy's garage and practice your 18-footers on his private course if you want. So I recommend practicing putting. I always have, and I will stick to that.
Excellent. All right, guys, we're going to end it from here. Thank you so much to our YouTube watchers for tuning in. Thank you so much for our listeners for subscribing. Make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube so you know when we go live, and subscribe to us on iTunes so you know what's going down when it comes to the podcast. Thanks, guys. We'll see you.